Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of SAP Basis Training. In this particular session, we will learn about SAP Enhancement Package and SAP Upgrade. In turn, SAP Enhancement Package as well as SAP Upgrade is a bigger topic. This particular session is included in this training in order to understand what is the concept behind EHP upgrade as well as the system upgrade. Uh, as I said, this is a bigger topic than the SAP basis. So in order to do EHP upgrade and SAP upgrade, you need to have a clear understanding and experience in SAP basis. So we will learn to understand in such a way so that when you are in the job, that you are not surprised by looking in the terms, as well as when you are going to do some upgrade or you are going to be a part of this upgrade, then you know what are all the uh, implications or how this will be done. Furthermore, you will have installation guides for each and everything what you will be doing SAP. For example, if you are going to do an EHP upgrade enhancement package, which is called short EHP, when you're going to do an EHP upgrade or system upgrade, you will have SAP installation guides, so you should follow the installation guide step by step. So the objective of this particular session is, as an SAP basis administrator, you should have at least rough understanding how an SAP enhancement package are installed or how the upgrade works. Okay, now let us see how an SAP system upgrade landscape can be done. Okay, this does not mean this is the only way you can do this one. You can do it in different ways. Again, this depends on the complexity of your landscape. We are talking about a very simple landscape which has development, QA and productive systems. So depends on the complexity, you can leverage the idea, you can improve this idea of creating a landscape for your SAP upgrade. One of the main factor when you are upgrading a system is that you need to always keep in mind what is going to be the system downtime. So based on the system downtime, so depends on the system downtime, you are going to have an impact in your business transactions. So you have to always keep in mind the business system downtime, how we can reduce the system downtime, which will have very less impact or there is no impact in the business transactions. Moreover, when you are upgrading a system, you need to consider many factors. For example, um, release of customizings, okay, then modification adjustments and on the SAP standard. Modification adjustments in the SAP standard means the standard objects which we have seen it before, how many we have modified and what are all the adjustments required in the particular modification in the new versions. And we need to also think of interfaces. For example, the technical interfaces. If it's an SAP system which is linked to different external parties or external systems, then we need to think how this interface is going to work in the new versions. So these are all the very complex scenarios where we need to keep all this in your topics. Then we need to also do end user training. If you see in this scenario 4.6C to ECC 6, when you are upgrading, then the interface of the end user interface going to be quite different and you have quite a lot of new transactions. So you need to always think of end user training, because end user is the person who is really going to use the SAP system, so acceptability within the end user should be quite high. So we have to have end user training. and we need to also have proper validation and testing of all the upgrades, all the new functionalities. If you see in the upgrade project, if you do the actual technical upgrade from basis side, we can say it may not be the biggest part of your upgrade project. The biggest part of upgrade project will be the business process. You have to test all the business process, and you may need to do a lot of changes in terms of customizing as well as the repository objects. Also, you need to find out the new application, how it's going to work, whether it is going to fit for your business requirement. So that will be the biggest part of your project implementation on SAP upgrade. And you should also consider the technical part as a basis consultant, whether you need to upgrade the OS in order to fulfill the new SAP requirement or the one which you are going to implement, the ECC. Then do you need to upgrade the OS requirement? Probably the old system which you are using 4.6c, the OS should have been 32-bit, and in ECC you need a 64-bit. These kind of things. So you need to prepare this one. So OS requirement you need to analyze, and you need to analyze the hardware needs and upgrades, meaning to say the existing hardware is enough, or do we need to have a new hardware which needs to be procured. So we need to analyze this one hardware requirement, or do we need to upgrade the hardware, and the DB support and upgrade, in the sense the database which you are going to use, is it going to support the latest version which you are going to implement? Otherwise we need to upgrade the database before you upgrade the systems, before you upgrade the SAP. So we need to also think whether the existing database will support, or do we need to have an upgrade for this SAP, for the database. So it's not only upgrading the system as such, so we need to keep all this in mind. So, and the modification, what are all the modification required after the upgrade? Will you find any inconsistencies because of different reasons of the changing the OS or networks and stuff like this? Will you find any risk? Meaning to say, do we have any risk? Okay, and we also keep all other matters into our agenda. It means that these checklists can be vary from one environment to another environment. So we need to keep all the factors in our agenda to understand or to find the risk behind the SAP system upgrade. As a technical consultant in a upgrade phase, we need to keep a lot of things in our mind. So when you are planning for an upgrade, you need to have a proper strategy, and you need to have a schedule for your upgrade. If you see here, this is our system landscape, development, QAS and production. The old system landscape you can also see, which is 4.6c, which is been upgraded to ECC 6. In that case, you will have always a sandbox where you will do the upgrade first. Okay, that will be the first phase of your upgrade. We can also call this as a discovery system. Then you will upgrade this one. Then you will understand what is the actual impact you are going to have in your upgrade. So you need to have a proper strategy. Then you will go to your landscape. So we will have one sandbox where you will upgrade the system, and you will discover what is the problems you may face, or what is the challenges you may face, whereas you can study these challenges and you can implement in your actual landscape. And when you are reading and the next one is when you are referring an upgrade guide, installation guide, where it will refer you to different nodes. We already know what is nodes. The nodes are very important in SAP because this nodes describes many steps which are found out, or many problems which you may face. So if you do not read this note very carefully, I can say many times you will fail because we did not read these notes carefully, because each scenarios should have been explained in these notes very clearly. So it's very important not only for upgrade, when you are doing installation as well, please read the notes very carefully. So the preparation is very important in the upgrade. So you need to also prepare the software, hardware and operating systems, what we have seen. And after you have performed the preparation steps 100%, then you will start the upgrade. These are all the technical overview or the steps which you may follow in your upgrade process. The upgrade of the SAP is done by a tool called SAP Up, and the enhancement package installation will be done by a tool called SAP EHP installations, we can say. So we have two different tools, SAP Up and SAP Enhancement Package. It's like a installation tool. When we see our SAP installations, there we will use SAP Inst. Here we will use a different tool. This tool helps you to install and helps you to upgrade the SAP system. You can also monitor what is the status and stuff like this. It's quite interesting tool. So we have, main thing is that we have different tools for these purposes. So in general, if you see SAP upgrade as well as the enhancement package upgrade works almost same. The logic is almost same, but you have different steps in fact. So these are all the overview, technical overviews or the steps which may involved in your upgrade process. So first step what we will be doing is we will be defining in our solution manager what is our target release. The solution manager, of course, you will have your present release, and in the solution manager you will define what is the target release of this particular system. Or let's say from this system you are going to upgrade from here to then what level, and it can be also an upgrade or it can be also an enhancement package upgrade. So you will define that in your solution manager. The next step will be you will prepare the upgrade steps from the SAP nodes. What are the SAP nodes? You will collect all these SAP nodes, and you will also use the upgrade guide to prepare the steps. Meaning to say, every upgrade or every enhancement package upgrade or every SAP upgrade will have its own installation guide or an upgrade guide. So you need to read this upgrade guide step by step, and this will also have some reference notes. Then we also need to refer the notes, and there is a note which will describe the AUS toolbox. This note number is 1000009. This is a very important note where it will give you the toolbox which you can use during the upgrades. Okay, this is also quite important, so you need to read these notes in order to understand and prepare the toolbox. Then you will come to the SAP upgrade process itself. Pre-operational steps. There is some steps which you need to do it before the upgrade, that is pre-operational steps, and you need to also do some negative checks in SAP upgrade tool, which will be in our roadmap steps 1 to 4. We will see the roadmap step in our second slide. You can see from 1 to 4 you have different steps. Okay, then the SAP actual upgrade itself, that will be roadmap 5 to 8. From 5 to 8, still here it's a preparation. Then 5 to 8 is going to be the actual upgrade. Then we need to do post upgrade process. Okay, in the post upgrade process we may use different tools, and same like AUS toolbox, as well as we will also use some notes which needs to be referred and in order to complete the steps. Okay, and this is a roadmap for upgrade. So when you run SAP up, then you will come to a screen relatively same, then you will use that particular steps. Each step will have its own selection criteria, and you need to extract information, you need to specify some information, you will do these checks, and it is possible that you will not be able to go to the next level until unless you fix some error. So meaning to say, you start a upgrade step, you went to some different steps, then you found some errors, you need to fix some errors, then you can leave this particular software and you can fix that error, and you can come back and it will come to the same level or same stage where you have left. Then you can again continue that one. Okay, so it's not so complicated that if you once you start then you cannot stop it. No. During the installation you found some errors, you can go back, fix it, and you can come back. So it's not a problem at all. This is the way the enhancement package installer works, and this is the same way SAP install also works. During the installation you will find a lot of log files which will be saved in the local drive, and you can find the information from the log file if you want the detailed informations. Especially the checks log will be written in the log file called checks.log, where you will be able to find what all been checked and what is the status of the checks. So when you run out of any issues, any errors, then you need to go to these log files and find out what is the problem. And whenever there is an issue, the installer also will tell you which log file to see. Then you can trace it from that log file, and it will have relatively a different log file. Then if it is referred to a different log file, then you go to read the different log file. Then if it is also possible that you will find some notes which will have the fixes for the specific issues you may find. This is about SAP upgrade. This is SAP Enhancement Package Installer. This also works in a similar way. The steps are almost same, but it's a different software altogether. The downtime altogether, but the underlying technology behind both of them is almost same. Here you can find different upgrade phases, meaning to say when you do an SAP upgrade or an installation or an enhancement upgrade, then you have a lot of steps which will be involved in the enhancement package upgrade. In the sense, we are not talking about the entire project phase here. We are talking about the actual installation, actual implementation of your SAP upgrade. If you can see here, you can as a first step you will be applying the nodes. Then you will start the enhancement package upgrade. Let's say EU_import. This import of new repository into the shadow repository. In the sense, it will import the new repository into the shadow repository. That shadow repository means that SAP will create a shadow repository while we are upgrading. The sense, the existing repository can be used till we start the downtime. So you have all these preconditions which will be done in SAP. That specific time you do not need to bring the system down. So you will have a shadow repository which will do quite a lot of things. So once all these things are done, then the shadow repository will be replaced with the actual repository. That's the way it works. So you have a shadow repository which will be imported in this time. Then the next step is run_rdd IT006. In this time it will calculate the delta between the standard repository and the shadow repository for the system upgrade. Okay, so you have an actual repository as well as shadow repository. In this step it will create a delta difference between these two. The next one is diff star. In this particular step, it will copy all the modification as well as the own development beyond SAP support pack and the add-ons to the shadow repository. So it will copy all the things from the actual repository to the shadow repository. That means different export. Okay, and the next one is the transaction SPDD. When you do the SPDD, then you will do the activate upgrade, the activation of table definition in the shadow repository. Then you will do the parallel distribution of shadow repository. Then you will do the transaction ICNU. This ICNU is a transaction which will be done in the middle of this upgrade, that is for the incremental table conversion. This particular transaction or this particular activity will be done in the middle of this upgrade. The incremental table conversion means it's a tool. Basically it is delivered during the SAP enhancement package installation or SAP upgrade. This will convert the structure of the table based on the new requirement. Let's say you have a old table with a structure. This structure was changed or modified in the new enhancement or new upgrade, then this will be converted using this particular transaction or particular tool. The next step will be shadow import. Then you will import the new tables into the productive systems. Till this time you do not have any problems because this is a new import, new tables which will just import it, which is not used still at this time. Then from here only you will start the downtime of the system. So till from here till this time that you do not need to bring the system down. Okay, from here only you need to bring the system down, because so far whatever you have done is done in the shadow repository. Okay, we know what is shadow repository. So far we know what is repository. So far what SAP done, it created a shadow repository, done all these things, all the prerequisite in order to upgrade the system into the shadow repository. That's the reason SAP has a very good logic to bring the system down with, to upgrade the system with minimal downtime, so that your downtime start from here. Then it will do EU switch, that is the switch the repository to the new repository. That means the shadow repository, so far it was shadow, so there is an actual repository which was running. Then it will switch the repository to the shadow repository which was created before in these steps. Okay, and it will also switch to the new kernel, because the kernel which you may be using before was a old kernel and old repository. It will switch to the new kernel and new repository. Then the next step is the parallel conversion of table structures. So we prepared already. Then it will start doing the parallel conversion of the table structures. Then it will move all the name tabs to the table structure. Then it will import the new data to the standard customizing and the language text, this kind of informations. Then it will restructure the business data in this particular steps, because you should have been changed. Let's say if the SAP should have changed the way in which the old business process is going to work, and we have added new functionality or something like this, then it has to restructure the business data based on the new setup. That will be done in the last phase. After that, then you will do the SPAU and the manual activities which needs to be done after the upgrade, meaning to say SPDD and SPAU will be done in the development system. So if, let's say, if it is a productive system, you will do the delta transport. As we seen, SPAD and SPDD and SPAU is used for our support pack upgrade. This also applicable for your for the enhancement pack upgrade as well as the system upgrade or SAP version upgrade. This also applies. So we also need to do SPDD and SPAU in these kind of scenarios as well. To at the start of the upgrade process, it involves the transfer of new data to SAP system. SAP repository objects also important to SAP system. Then we need to compare these objects, meaning to say all the object that has been modified by the customer needs to be compared with the new system during the upgrade process, meaning to say all the repository object which has been modified during the in the older system needs to be compared whether this is going to have a loss in the SAP system or not. So as we seen before, the SPAD and SPAU is quite important in order to modify the objects to the latest version. Otherwise, we may have loss of data when you are doing any upgrade. As I said before, the enhancement package installation almost same like SAP system upgrade. We can say both of them are identical in technical. Okay, but there are some differences when you are handling upgrade projects. The major difference could be the new business functionality which is delivered when installing enhancement package could be quite different. So meaning to say the major difference between enhancement package and performing SAP system upgrade is possible activation of business functionality. An SAP enhancement package only consists of new software components. When you are applying SAP support packs, the SAP enhancement packages, the SAP system admin as a basis admins and the business development decides when the software components are delivered by SAP enhancement packages should be applied. When the software components packages are delivered by SAP, or meaning to say delivered enhancement packages, when this should apply should be decided by basis as well as the business. Usually all the SAP enhancement package should be applied into your SAP system without much issue. However, in a complex scenario, it may not be possible that you will be able to apply enhancement package quite often. So you need to make sure that you have a proper schedule and discuss with the business and find out where if there is a need, then we will apply the enhancement package. When you apply any enhancement package, then you may have new functionality which is already available in the enhancement package. However, this functionality needs to be enabled in your enhancement package in order to use this one. Otherwise, it's basically just a functionality which is hidden. But using the functionality switch framework, you can enable each functionality which is provided by the SAP system. For example, if you see IS utility and IS SAP oil, this functionality needs to be enabled if in case if you want to use that particular additional functionality delivered by the SAP. Okay, so in general we need to use the functionality we need to enable the functionality if we want to use it. The enhancement package basically was used for ERP systems only in the initial stages. However, probably 2011 or 2002 There is enhancement package which is also available for other SAP products like SAP CRM and SAP SCM and these kind of products. So you can also use enhancement packages for other products as well. However, the business switch functionality is depends on which product you are going to use. It may not be applicable to all the products which we are talking about. So you have to read actually each product separately. What is the functionality available? How we can enable this one? This can differ from one product to another product. So it's not a common understanding. Okay, it's applicable for all products. Here you could also see the comparison between different enhancement packages. Let's say enhancement package ECC 6.0, that means 0 enhancement package, and enhancement package 5. In that case you can see the difference of enhancement package which is being upgraded. Okay, here you can also see, if you see the HR is 600 in enhancement package 0, and here it's enhancement package 4 only, but it did not come to 5. So it depends on which component which you are using. So these components enhancement package may vary. It does not mean that all the components should be in the same enhancement package. It's again depends on how you select your how the product is available in the PAM product availability matrix. So before you do any upgrade, you need to go to the product availability matrix and analyze the entire availability of the particular product. Okay, with this we are coming to the end of the session. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.